Can you hear it? I don't hear nothing right now. Huh? You hear it? You don't hear the music in the I hear the music. Okay. In the headphones?
Check.
You hear it now?
Hey. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the show. It's Lady Woo. Got the crew in the building. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves, please.
What's going on? It's your boy, Ready Eddie.
What's going on, B-Ham? It's your boy, J Hat.
All right. And in the middle, we're going to jump straight to our special guest tonight. We got a big week for you kicking off February and just history. We're making history all around the world every single day. And a history maker is in the studio with us. Welcome to the show, Mr. Peyton Peanut Wiggins. What it do?
What's going on? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Let me get some good music. Let me see what I want to play. Something like with some basketball. Let me see what I'm gonna play. What did you? No. Let's start with this. Oh no, we're gonna do this one. We're gonna do March Madness. Do I want to play that? Yeah, hear that. We'll let it ride. Peyton Wiggins, Huffman High School senior, starting basketball player, all-time leading scorer of my alumni, my school. I'm alumni of Huffman High School too, class 2002. So congratulations, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You are that's pretty big. And when Jonathan came here, he was talking about basketball and whatnot, and I didn't really know like nothing to say. I didn't know. I don't know anything about NBA basketball right now. I don't watch it anymore. After Michael Jordan, it was pretty much over for me. College basketball, kind of went when I was in school. But past that, it's all on you, bro. It's all on you. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from, how you started, who your folks are.
My name is Peyton Wiggins, nickname Peanut. My dad is Jerome Wiggins. Mom is Tamika Wiggins. My dad is an administrator. He been teaching at Hayes. He been teaching all around.
Okay.
Birmingham. He been in Birmingham City a long time.
Okay.
Mom, she a nurse. And basketball, I've been playing basketball since I was 3. So I just been locked in.
So they got you the little tights, the little short one. You started with that and just been like, that's your thing.
That's my thing.
So, okay. Out of everything that makes you who you are, everybody knows you for basketball right now. But I'm quite sure there's more to you than that. Tell me something else.
I'm a funny kid, I'm real smart. I'm a national society.
Okay.
Every honor roll student, 3.8 GPA, So that's all about it. I'm cool. It's more than basketball.
Okay.
That's what they see on the court.
Oh, okay now. So it's more than basketball. 2,000 point club. How hard? So you've been playing since you were 3, so I'm quite sure these points been racking up a long time. But you got 2,000 as a high school basketball player, and you started as an 8th grader playing for the high school team.
Yeah,
How you do that? How does that happen?
8th grade, so that's when COVID was going around.
Okay.
So they had to stop the season. In order to play, you had to play for your zone school. And my zone school was Huffman. I played, co-ord gave me a chance, and everything worked out, so I just stayed.
What did the upper class, what did the high schools, did they welcome you with open arms? Were they trying to hate a little bit?
I mean, they roughed me up, but it made me who I am today. They definitely welcomed me though.
Wow, okay.
Definitely grateful for it.
That's what's up. Like, this is exciting for me, if you can tell. So, okay, 2,000 points. Yeah, these threes, is this these half court shots, these layups? Like, give me the whole rundown.
It's a little bit of threes, layups, mid range, dunks.
Oh, you be dunking too?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Oh, snap. Okay. So what's your position?
I'm
Like
a point guard.
point guard. So give me some point guards so I can put it in context for myself. Who was some
Luca.
I don't really know him. I told you old school.
Old school. You got Steve Nash. You got
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
Okay.
Rajon Rondo. That's point guard.
Kind of. So that ain't old school, baby.
Well, old school point guard is different
I'm
than
talking
like
about like Patrick Ewing and
today
them.
point
Who we
guard.
talking about?
You going back to the 90s?
That's what I remember.
different.
John Stockton.
Yes, I remember him.
Yeah.
Karl Malone.
Gary
them.
Payton,
Gary
John
Payton, the
Stockton.
glove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. I got you.
Guys that look little on the court, even though in real life you
Oh.
stand next to them, they big, but on the court they look
Yeah.
little.
Muggsy Bowles type.
Yeah, but they be big today though.
See, look at Cuz. Cuz like, what is she talking about? You have to make it relevant to the audience. Right now, I'm the audience. I'm listening and learning. So this is the position that's your starting position.
Yeah, man.
But you probably can play all over the court, right?
I mean, yes, man, in high school, but like on the next level, I'd definitely be a point guard.
So next level. Tell me what the next level looks like.
You got college, Division 1, D2, D3, JUCO. I'm aiming for D1 though.
D1.
I'll be making a decision soon.
Okay. Who looking at you? Who you trying? Or who you looking at?
You got Louisiana Tech,
Mm-hmm.
JSU, Troy, a lot of school, Alabama State.
Turn
had
up.
on me recently.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got some D2s, LMU. Can't leave them out, you know. Everybody just looking at me. I'm just weighing my options right now.
I know that's real. You gonna have some shoes?
I hope so.
Because I'm gonna rock your shoes. I ain't walked no shoes since the threes.
Joy? You
Yeah.
want Joy now?
Yeah, I do. I want some Wiggins.
My shoes ain't gonna be like
I
Jordan.
do. They ain't gonna be like that. You already got a design in mind.
No, man.
Okay.
Just Jordan. That's just the best.
Okay. Until you do your thing. We got a Birmingham City all alumni shoe with Peyton Wiggins on the back. What's your pose? Let me see.
I ain't really got no
We need to work on that. We gonna work on it. Oh, you throw the 2. Okay, we want that on the back. That's what's up. So, guys, y'all have anything for Mr. Peanut? He's out here clowning. I'm excited.
Yeah, when you talk about poses, you know, I don't know that Jordan chose his pose. I guess people just
somebody
like
just
that's
drew
what he
it.
do. So, like, what's one of your moves that if somebody saw, they'll be like, "That's it." Like, is it some kind of like?
Probably say like a hard crossover or
Okay,
That's this
jump
right here.
shot. Yeah, crossover.
I be doing that just in the stuff like.
Or maybe you get a
Okay.
picture of me dunking. I feel like that'd be nice.
ooh.
bro.
gotcha.
That'd be
dope.
nice.
We
So
got.
that's your
We should have.
signature.
We should have did this one on the
Say.
court.
You can say that. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty smooth.
Okay.
Been following you for a couple of years. Birmingham Let's Talk Sports definitely gave you some pub 2 years ago. I like how you move and navigate the court. You're a floor general, and I like that. We don't have many point
Floor
guards like that.
general.
Yeah, so he can distribute, he can shoot. He don't have
Okay.
any real weaknesses to his game. So he can shoot
Uh-huh.
all 3 levels.
Appreciate that.
And
I ain't seen him
that's-
play, but I just saw
Yeah.
just clowning. I didn't really know what it was.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
just on point. This
and
is
then,
fine.
he leads the team.
Okay.
So it's like not only is he the leader of the team at
Break
the
it
position,
down for me.
he's the
Uh-huh.
leader of the
Period.
team. Period.
So you like
And
the
that's been
assistant
like what,
coach.
2-3 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he,
basically what a point guard is.
Oh.
You gotta be a coach on the floor.
Y'all
he
teach
knows basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at Kristen. She back there excited too. She's a former hooper as well. That's what's up. So college is next, D1, and then I'm quite sure NBA.
Hopefully.
Okay. Everybody else says, or they ask the question, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Has it always been a professional basketball player?
I mean, yes, man, but I always had a plan B as well.
Ooh, wait.
I'd say a sports analyst like Stephen A. Smith, all
Mm.
those guys, Shannon Sharp. I like debating about basketball. It's real fun and funny. So,
Okay, let's practice.
oh, man.
What? Give me some.
So since you like debating, tell me about the news this morning. Luca and AD, where you at on this?
I don't understand it, to be honest. But,
Okay.
like, it's a good trade for the Lakers because Luka young. I
Okay.
just don't see how Dallas can trade their franchise player like that. I don't get it.
Okay.
But for the Lakers, it's gonna work out for them in a couple years.
So
They think about the future.
Okay, so you think they moving on? So do you think LeBron leaves and walks away because of this? Ooh.
He gonna keep doing his thing because it's Brian, but he ain't got too long. That's gonna be Luka's show.
Okay, so it's the Luke show going forward.
Yeah, it's gonna be Luka's show.
Wow. Okay.
That was not a debate, but okay, sounded like a very pleasant conversation you guys just had. I want to hear some debate, and I want you to get loud like Stephen A. Smith.
Oh.
And then I want you.
Yeah,
What's the other one name? What did he? Kenny.
Skip.
Is-
Oh, you talking about
Skip gone. Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon
Oh,
Sharp.
you know we know Shannon Sharp. The other one with the knees like that. What's his name? Golly, don't do this, guys.
Yeah, you got.
I cannot think of his name. Kenny
Kenny,
song?
Charles Barkley, and Shaq. That group.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Kenny
yeah.
What's Kenny last name?
Smith.
Him too. Everybody last name Smith.
Yeah.
So something like that type of energy. I want to see you on a show like that, and I want to hear that type of that foolishness right there because you are a star. So that means you really know what you're talking about. So how would that go amongst other high school students? Like, do you all do that? Do they respect you in that way? Do they stay away? Like, what is that like?
Like debating.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have those lunchroom talks. You know, in the lunchroom, you talking just like we were talking about the trade. It might get intense a little bit, but it's all love at the end of it.
And they gonna respect what you said because you the assistant coach.
Man,
I'm the one that got 2,000 points.
Sure. Well, who the GOAT then?
GOAT.
The GOAT.
I mean,
You Bron, you Jordan, where you at?
I say Brian the GOAT.
Okay.
But he ain't my favorite player though.
Okay. Who your favorite player?
KD.
Really?
As in Kevin Durant.
I see
Kevin
that.
Durant.
See, he kind of throwback. Okay.
Why?
That's
Because of the
what's up.
mid range?
Man, he's just the truth. Can't fade him. He's the
Hmm.
truth.
Okay.
We gotta
The
check it,
truth.
man. You gotta
All right.
fan, man.
That's what it is. So
KD. Come on.
he said KD.
Well,
is
Brian,
the
I
he
GOAT.
heard him
the
say
GOAT.
KD. But
Brian
KD.
He
is
said
the
this
GOAT
is
of this
favorite.
generation. Though.
Okay, he the
I just
GOAT
say
of
that
this
'cause
generation.
I haven't watched Jordan
All right.
like face to face. You know.
I got you. Yeah, you gotta
Yeah,
go
you probably
classic.
never see that,
Yeah,
but
you
you
gotta
just
watch
gotta pull up some
classic.
videos. Got to get you some
Yeah.
VHS tapes.
But you put KD in it?
Man, he's the truth. What can he not do?
I mean, he went to a team loaded. I don't know.
Got to get a ring. Don't nobody want to keep losing.
Oh,
Ah.
well.
So how y'all looking this
Look,
year?
9948949 to get in on the debate.
How Huffman looking this year?
How
It's
is
looking
Huffman
real
looking?
good, real good. We just finished the regular season strong, 24-4.
That's what's
No.
up.
So we just trying to take one game at a time to keep doing what we're doing.
So y'all got area play. When's the next game? What's up?
Area championship is Wednesday. We play the winner of Mount Brook and Woodline
Ooh.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
What time?
I don't know yet. I think they're gonna let us know.
Shoot me a text. Let me know. We'll tell the people.
Yeah, man.
Pull up Wednesday.
Wednesday. at Huffman
Okay.
High School.
And then it's either, you said either Woodlawn. I mean, who?
The
Mount
winner
Brook.
of Mount Brook and Woodline.
Okay. Who we think gonna win it?
Hmm.
Probably Woodlawn.
Nah.
No? You don't think so? All right, Mount Brook. We'll see you Wednesday then. Y'all, everybody, put your hands together for Mr. Peyton Peanut Wiggins, 2,000 point club, all-time leading scorer of the Huffman High School basketball program. And we had some ballers at Huffman when I was there. Like, Huffman has always had ballers in every sport. So for you to break this record, my guy, that's amazing.
Thank you.
Repping for Birmingham City School, Birmingham Public Schools is always big. We are following you, supporting you, and always showing you major love. All right. So if you ever need anything, want to get on the radio and debate somebody, want to analyze some basketball, come on back.
Yes, ma'am.
Come on
Yes.
back. Wednesday, Eddie. If you got some evening clients, cancel them. Jonathan, we going to the game. Marshall, we going Wednesday. All right. Okay. So speaking about school and literacy and all of that, how all of that plays together. You said you had a 3.8 GPA. How important are the academics before the sports to you?
It's very important because sometimes you may not get into a school with like how you play sports, but academics it can help. Like they may look at your academics and they might say, "All right, well he's smart. We'll take him." You'll get the edge over certain people sometimes.
Okay. All right. I like that point of view. Do you all like guys? So when it comes to like natural talent over education, what's your thoughts on that? You good at what you do, but you just reading. What you think?
I mean, what Peanut talking about is really kind of being well balanced.
Yeah.
Overall, which it sounds like you structure your game after life, kind of like being well rounded is just the most valuable, part of the equation.
Yeah.
But I just think that sometimes people don't have the luxury of the same kind of intelligence that other people got. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but
I mean, hey.
and some people don't have the environment that gonna push them. And so
Mhm.
some people have to be led by natural talent, and some people are just born with that talent and that hard work, dedication. I do think that it's clearly it's ideal to have that way around it. And I really hadn't thought about the perspective of having the edge over other people by, having a higher GPA. I just haven't had to think about it like that. But hearing it is like, okay, that makes sense.
Absolutely. And I'm thinking about that like as he speaks, you'll have people that'll go to school for the sport that they play or for the thing that they do, but they can't compete in the classroom. And so then what? You get contracts, you can't read the contract, don't understand that. All you understand is what you do on the court or on the field or whatever. And it does take education. You're a teacher. So how often do you see that happen where, these are gaps and voids that if we could help this individual succeed better in the classroom and then put them on the court and then put them on the field and then they do something different. What would you say? What you like? What? Simply what?
I mean, I've seen people not go anywhere because of the classroom.
Mm,
And so you got to qualify. NCAA got rules. You got to
Okay.
do the clearinghouse. You got to get that good score in the ACT. And with his situation, with a high GPA, it puts him in a better space to win. So a very good ACT score, at least decent.
hmm
He's swinging the bat.
That's what's up. So that's good for you. We have these ladies in studio. I'm gonna get y'all to switch positions. Peanut, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. We're gonna keep checking in on you and just kind of, you always got a seat here on the show, but hang around for this part too. I think this is something that we may find interesting. When you think about education and factor that into sports and reading, and you know that in the state there was this whole thing about reading on a third grade level. Like if you can't do that, the success rate is low. It's low. So you may be able to shoot a 3-pointer. You may be able to do whatever it is that you can do, but literacy is the key to do all of that. And in studio, we have 2 representatives from STARE. One of the representatives is a family member of ours right here on the show, Miss Kristen French. And then our special guest who we just met tonight. Tell us who you are, my sister.
Hi, I'm Karen Greiner, CEO of STARE.
Hello, Karen and Kristen. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having
So,
us.
yeah, so STARE stands for...
You want to take that one, Kristen?
Of course. STARE stands for Start the Adventure in Reading.
Start the Adventure in Reading.
Yes.
So before you do anything else, before you get the basketball, before you whatever else, well, I don't even know what else we do in school, but before we do all of that, we got to start the adventure in reading. Why?
Well, we know that every child has the ability to learn how to read, but they're not all getting the opportunity to read. So STARE is an after-school program where we pair volunteer tutors from the community to go in and sit down with students one-on-one and work with them at their speed, teaching them how to read, teaching them the basics of phonics and spelling, understanding the words and how to string them together. And so that by the time they're in 3rd grade, they are able to read, because we know that up until 3rd grade, children are learning to read, but in 3rd grade, they are reading to learn. So they're going to fall behind if they're not reading by 3rd grade. So that's where STARE helps by working with children.
I love it. So still looking at that 3rd grade mark. Y'all know I won't date anybody that can't read out loud. I need you to read out loud. If it's this menu, if it's this, whatever it might be. And I need you to be confident in that. What are you all doing as far as how are you? I'm saying this to adults. How are you communicating this to children? I need you to be able to do this. How does that go just for that short time after school?
Well, we think our magic formula is having the same tutor or pair of tutors every single week. So it's not like every week a child comes in and it's a different person they haven't met. They're building a relationship over the course of a semester or a year. And they get excited about seeing their tutor when they go into STARE after school. They're like, that person is there for them. They're their mentor. They're a friend, and they're someone they can, feel that they can be themselves around and just have a good time learning how to read and sharing story time.
I love that. When is the last time you all read a book? Whole book?
2 weeks ago.
Oh, so 2 weeks.
Don't even remember. I got narcolepsy. I can't stay awake during the book.
Gotcha.
Formal diagnosis.
Okay, so I'll give you that pass. But like the idea of reading, reading being fundamental. Like I said, if you can't read out loud, we can't go far. If you can't read anything off of Facebook, like outside of Facebook, can you read full context and comprehend what you read? So you all are saying that if I stick with one person to coach me on these different, on the ideals of reading, I will be successful.
Well, that's what we try.
Okay.
Of course, we do get students who, some of them, even though they're in 1st or 2nd grade, they are reading at a level below kindergarten. So we do what we can to train. We train all of our tutors, and we have a scripted curriculum, so anyone can be a tutor. You don't have to have a teaching background, and we they go in and they work with the children, and we do, as the staff also helps the tutors kind of monitor and see how the child is progressing every week. And if it looks like a child might be struggling on a certain concept, we'll tell the tutor, okay, maybe we can slow down a little bit and just repeat this lesson a little more, or a couple more times. And then it's just amazing. Tutors tell us all the time they finally see a light bulb moment. I was talking
love
to a
it.
tutor the other day. She's been working with the same student for 2 years now,
Hmm.
and she felt like he just wasn't getting it. And the other day, she's like, he's got it. He's learning
love
to
it.
read. He read a whole book to me today,
That's
and it
what's
was
up.
great.
So, okay, the formula. How do you teach someone how to read? Like, where do you start? What do you say? How does that go? What does this script look like?
Well, first of all, I need to give credit where credit's due. Our teachers in our schools are fabulous, and we certainly don't want to replace what they're doing. We're more of a kind of supplementing, helping them out. We we write our curriculum to match what the kids are learning in school. So it's
Okay.
not like they're seeing something completely different. It's more
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, I remember I saw that in my teacher class earlier today. So
Okay.
they recognize it. But it starts out we have 3 activities that they do every day where it's just maybe sounding out a word or doing a writing activity if
Mhm.
they're at that stage. Maybe something with phonics. And then the rest of the tutoring session, they get to go pick a book out of our library, which has over 100 stories, award-winning. They're funny. They have children of color. They have animals. They have
So something
topics
for
that
everybody.
yes. Then they have topics that kids today can relate to.
I love
So,
it.
mhm.
So you all have a board and other people that are the ambassadors for STARE. Sister Kristen. So tell me about the role that you play with STARE.
I'm actually currently president-elect of STARE. Um, right now, I'm president-elect. This is actually my second term serving on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next term, I will be the president of STARE. I've
All right.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
We're very
Reading-
excited.
Yeah,
Love
me too.
it.
Reading was something that I shared with my dad growing up. He passed away in 2016, but that was something that we shared together. My dad took me to get my first library card. I
Mm-hmm.
always enjoyed reading. My dad would tell me, hey, if you can't go anywhere, which we did, we went places. But when we couldn't, he was like, hey, read this book. This can take you wherever you want to go. You can read about wherever you want to go.
I love it.
And I mean that it means a lot to me, and to see what we've done with the kids that we do tutor, it's amazing. We actually have an event coming up soon for a fundraiser. It will be April 10th, 2025 at the Finnick. It's an amazing event. It's called Rise to Read.
Okay.
It's our annual breakfast. It's a breakfast, so 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. And it's just amazing to see the work from some of these kids are like 7, 8, and they can't even identify sight words, but by the time we're done with them, I mean, they're reading everything. So it's really amazing.
That is good. I'm happy to hear that. And you all also have room for volunteers. Like other people can be a part of this initiative as well with STARE.
Oh, definitely. We
Okay.
still need about a dozen or so volunteers to help us this semester. And like I said, we do all the training. It's a very easy curriculum to follow. So you can check us out and apply at starebirmingham.org. And again, that's STAIR, STAIR.
starebirmingham.org. And we'll post that for you guys to jump in there and be a part of the solution, be a part of the literacy solution and helping these young people rise to read. Because I want them to be able to read out loud when it's time to, and to be proud and to be comfortable and confident reading and reciting and sharing. Literacy makes you comfortable. Like you can't tell me something because I can read it for myself. You can't just convince me of something because I can find it myself. And so that skill is a vital skill. Reading is a vital skill. So I'm glad that you all are doing the work that you're doing. Once again, your contact information, please.
starebirmingham.org.
STARE, Birmingham, spelled all the way out, .org.
Yes.
And if they want to volunteer, it's a curriculum, so they don't have, like, let's go over that part one more time.
Sure. You fill out an application, and then you'll hear from our volunteer manager within a few hours, honestly. And then we give you a training, which is 45 minutes or less.
Okay.
And when you go to a site that you're assigned to, we give you, the curriculum, and we have 2 or 3 site people at each site, staff people.
Mhm.
So you're never alone. If you ever feel like, well, this just isn't working with this child, I must be doing something, wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. You just need a little help from the staff, and they're happy to walk you through it and get in your groove so that you can help that child learn how to read.
Good. And then how many times a week?
It is a 2-day program. We love it when we have volunteers who can come both days, because
Okay.
that means that child gets to see the same person both days. But we understand people's schedule doesn't always allow for that. So if you can just volunteer 1 day a week, you'll have a partner tutor. So that child will just have 2 tutors, but it's the same 2 every week, which we love.
All right. You got the information that you need so that you can be a part of the resources of the community. STAIR is a resource. STAIRBirmingham.org. STAIR Birmingham.org. Go ahead and be a volunteer 2 days a week to help a young person rise to their maximum potential. Then they can be like Peanut over there with a 3.8 GPA or higher.
That's right.
Flying, dunking everywhere. Thank you all for this great first half of the show. To both of our guests, all of our guests, thank you so much for joining us and being vital tonight. We're about to transition into what has happened this week, so y'all can do what you need to do. I need my crew to get to the mic. If you're staying, stay. If you're moving, move around, get some, whatever you need to do, y'all can do that now. And then for those of you who are listening and viewing, do what you need to do as well. Get your notebooks out. What notes have you taken over this week? Because I know it's been crazy. I already know it has been.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'm gonna just tell y'all, I wasn't really keeping up. Like I watched the things that like really impacted people. I watched and covered the plane crashes. That's where my heart was.
Right.
Like I was really blown. Like that was really a thing. Like this is crazy. So I watched that. I watched and covered those and really just like paid attention to the families and all of that. I think that was the most engagement politically that I did. What about y'all? Like what were some big things that happened over the week politically? Well, no. No. Let's not start there because we didn't do what we normally do. We didn't talk about our own weeks. I don't want to jump straight into the politics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. We'll dive into Trumpster later. But your week, what happened for you? We'll do that first.
My week is pretty solid. The kids are fine. As far as my caseload
Kids,
goes,
the wife, the dog, all's
not
well.
them kind of kids. Childless on purpose. The kids on my caseload are good. My clients are good this week. That generally gravitates to a better week for me. So in that way, my week was pretty solid, but pretty standard as well.
Okay, good.
Oh man, word. Grinding, getting close to making some major decisions.
Okay.
Meeting with a few people this week. Kind of help solidify some of them decisions. And that was pretty much it because this was a fast week. I got blown away by the news. So I've been really kind of tuned in to news cycles.
Okay. Well, excited to be on the journey and hear what's going on with you, Eddie. I'm happy that things are, copacetic for you. As for me, this is what I observed this week. You can be very settled and stable in what you have going on, and everything around you be going crazy. And then so vicariously you're in it. And not only are you in it, but in some senses you may feel a sense of obligation to what's happening around you. And that's kind of how my week went. And that can be very draining, you guys. Already doing that professionally and then having to do that personally as well. And with those around you in your own circle, it's like, well, damn. Yeah. So one of those weeks, always productive though. A lot of things happened and are happening and are taking shape. So I'm happy about that. But it's those other things and us really learning how to, balance what's happening in our lives. So that's what happened for me this week. Marshall, you have anything? You just got back with us tonight. So welcome back to you. Yeah, as she makes her way around to the mic, check in on your week, and then we'll get into this political stuff and everything else that has happened over the week. So Marshall was our intern before last year. Last year we took a sabbatical. And then she was with us and helped us out. And now she's back. So welcome back. How was your week?
Thank you.
How have you been all year?
I've been good this year, even though the year just started, but I've been okay. Just trying to hone in on myself and see what it is that I need to do to like make myself feel like a better person, be a better person. I feel like I always go through like transitions where I'm feeling
Yes.
like I'm not who I once was. So it's like I have to slowly transition into another being.
Always evolving.
For sure.
Make Marshall great again.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, now. That's what's up. So happy to have you back. It's always great to have like some extra eyes and hands and opinions around. That's always great. Let's see. Sandy Brown said, I celebrated 60 years of life on purpose. I am grateful. Happy birthday to Miss Sandy Brown. And those 60 years, that is a great accomplishment on purpose. That's what's up. So, other things have happened. Like I said, the plane helicopter crash at the Ronald Reagan National Airport.
Yeah.
Like when I first saw that, I was really thinking something else because of where it was, and really, really because of where it was, and the whole situation just seemed like it was something else. This plane ran into a helicopter, or a helicopter ran into a plane. It did not make sense to me. I don't fly planes, don't know anything about. I'd love to ride one, but I don't fly them. But I was thinking like helicopters fly at this height and planes be up here. But then if the runway is here and everybody's kind of close, somebody was tripping.
Well, there's a lot of speculation. Trump came in and he gutted some of the aviation. So people are asking, does it have something to do with that?
With DEI hires.
Yeah, he came out and said DEI with no evidence to support
What
it.
are you?
To the point that one of the pilots was a woman, and the family doesn't want her name released just because he's put so much vitriol out about DEI, and how if you're a woman or a minority or a brown person that you might not be qualified because you got hired because of those things. And so they don't want her name out there because they know that she gonna get, her name will be besmirched in the
I want
media cycle.
my daughter, my loved one, to have a legacy based on who they were and what they did, not what has been painted. So that was one aspect of it. But then all of the many lives that were lost on the plane, like just the whole thing, y'all. It was just crazy.
Lot, yeah.
And then his remarks and the lack of empathy shown about the situation as the president of the United States of America. Nuts.
It is. My initial thoughts, helicopter all in the wrong.
Why you even right there? That type thing.
First of all, what you doing that far up? Right. Second thoughts, you can clearly hear from the radio. That was the communication that was released that they ignored some stuff. But then you can also hear that there was a gap, and that gap is where you saw boom, boom. I'm like this, man, 2 planes, same, locale, all in 1 week. It's just weird. So that's the word I want to roll with for a little while. Weird.
And like I've been calling a lot of things sketchy. Just Mr. Sketchy, if you're listening, but I've been really on some sketchy stuff, and I'm like, that was sketchy. The other one, not so much. The other plane that crashed in Philadelphia into the mall with the patient, the hospital staff, and her mom. I think a 5-year-old was being medically transported, and that plane crashed, and all of them died. So I'm just
weird.
Yeah.
One thing that I recognized this long ago, is that once something happens in the news cycle and everybody hyper focused on it, they just start putting all of those things that be happening back to back. And like, if you're not aware of that, it'll make it seem like all of this stuff happening is, a common theme that's going on, but
it's just an agenda.
Yeah, I can't, at this moment, I can't tell if one got something to do with the other ones, or if it's just the news doing what the news do and just throwing all of this same event at you over and over again. and you otherwise, if it wasn't a helicopter and a plane that crashed over the Potomac,
Okay.
if it wasn't that, would we be hearing about any of these other flights that's crashing? Or would it be something we would have to go look for? You know what I'm saying?
So, as a journalist, I'm not going to let you all just believe that that broadcasters and journalists are just going finding similar stories and saying we're just going to report this to cause mass hysteria. I'm not going to let you do that.
I happen to look at journalists and the media as two different things. Like the media ain't.
Okay.
I mean, the media employs journalists, but how the media chooses for the cycle to come out is based on what will make them the most money.
As long as you don't look at it like your current president looks at the media.
Yeah, I don't mean.
As long as you don't do it that way.
I don't think every journalist get on a WhatsApp and be like, "Hey, let's just do stories about planes."
Yeah.
The journalists got their own interests and their own things. But the systems that employ journalists be telling journalists what we need.
For sure.
And so I ain't looking at it like
and the agendas. Yeah.
You got gatekeepers, and that's for sure. I don't know, because I did see a lot of the conspiracy stuff early on, but I haven't seen it since maybe the first 24 hours. I like to stick to the old school media spiel. 24 hours is news. Anything after that is a story. The story keeps building because now you have another plane, and then you have the president, just basically putting a stamp on it like it's got something to do with DEI. And so it's really insensitive. Right? It's really insensitive to the families. It's insensitive to the workers, and to the American people. We're not stupid, and it's really an insult to come at such a sad event in this way. I was tripping because it was like, "Are you gonna see the site? What am I gonna do? Get in the water?" It's like
that part first.
What? Bro, you just, it's literally 2 blocks from your address. Just gonna fly over.
And if nothing else, don't say anything. We haven't made a decision yet.
Golly. But this is what people signed up for. And it's Trump 2.0, and it's definitely amplified.
And some of these responses are the same kind of things that like him and the Republicans would be very critical of Joe Biden for doing the same thing. And it's like the hypocrisy that's not able to be recognized, I guess, or just the blatant willing to mischaracterize situations for somebody you don't like, but accept it for somebody that you do like.
Yeah. So the insensitivity of the president is what got most people like, these things do happen every day. Car accidents, plane crash, all the, things happen. But as the top citizen of the United States of America, the representative, the spokesperson, whatever you would call him, there's a certain level of couth and tact that you expect. And he doesn't display that. But then I've heard some people saying that they admire him because he says exactly what it is.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that feel that way. He says what's on his mind.
That's not good.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right.
Like, what?
It's not good.
That he expresses himself in that way.
It's because he's not informed. He mischaracterizes. And I want to say he lied, but I'm trying to be charitable in this conversation for the people who think that's a good thing. But also, like, it shows no self-control. Because a PR team would have told him not to say that. So did you not know that you shouldn't say that? Or did you say that because that's how you truly felt? And so the inability to know that you shouldn't say some of the things you feel in certain instances, that's just not good in his situation. Everybody who speak their mind still got a bunch of considerations that go around speaking their mind. He either don't know to or he don't care.
I'm rich. That's it.
I think it's the latter.
Yeah.
I think it's a care part.
Why you gotta care?
I am one of those I said what I said type people because I've thought about what I was gonna say. So I once I said it, I absolutely said that, and I meant that. So that part of it, and I'm speaking on that part because now we're talking about the character of the person and how that plays into where we are as a human race. We say things, we post statuses, we share memes. We have an opinion about everything, everybody, everything. That's the world that we live in. When the leader of the free world has such an opinion and they're open about it, Eddie is saying that's not a good thing. Other people are saying, I don't like him politically, but as a person, this is, I'm telling you, I wish I could quote who I like him as a person. He's transparent and he believes in transparency. I was like, I guess it depends on what you believe, but I promise y'all that's what they said. I said what I said, and I believe in transparency, and I'm transparent.
I mean, just
Let me
'cause
play
you
some
see do
crickets. Let
something
me
don't
find my
mean what's on the
crickets.
other side of it is worth looking at. You know what I'm saying?
I don't. I like transparency too, but I think I also like honesty. So I think both of those, although they're not the same,
No.
I
right?
think transparency is the wrong word. I just don't think that's the right word.
Transparent is open, clear,
Yeah.
concise. You know, it's open. It's available to you to see, hear, know. No secrets, no lies.
But he's never that. Like, okay, he talked about the tariffs and how the tariffs was going to help
Well,
Americans.
we're gonna
and
talk
other people
about
gonna
these
pay
tariffs.
it. False. He talked about he campaigned on how he was going to lower groceries. Republicans talking about the eggs are too high, fighting against Democrats, blaming Democrats for why the groceries price. Once he became elected, well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, this is not transparency. This is not what we call transparency, y'all. He been lying, misleading, mischaracterizing the whole way. This is what he does.
This is who he is.
So I think transparency is the wrong word. I think he just say what he want to say, like old people be doing.
Uncouth.
When they ain't got no self-control, they don't care.
And they do that because they don't have no self-control.
When they do it, yeah.
I said, okay.
I ain't
Grandma,
saying this
stop.
is what old people who don't have self-control do. That's what they do.
Gotcha. And then young people that aren't educated.
Okay. I don't know.
Thinking about the character of the person, the same person who is dismantling and imploding in his own government, because based on things that he said, right, and how he lined the people up and positioned people around him to do as he says and to benefit from what he says and what he believes, and now we're starting to see the results of it already within the first 100 days. And you all came in studio earlier and referred to this administration as the new Trump. That was the old Trump. This is the new Trump. So we're diving in the Trumpster. And this is just the beginning of the conversation, whereas we're talking about his way, how he is about people and about issues. And that's what is important. You are the person for that's your job. Policies, procedures, and people.
But he doesn't know governance.
Oh.
But he does, but he doesn't.
But I don't care about it.
Care about it because you've been the president, right? You've been out. You really didn't know what you were doing the first time. And I'm starting to believe that you're trying to not know what you're doing this time on purpose.
Well, I mean, what data do you have that he might know what he's doing?
He definitely knows what he's doing because he's using the executive orders to the T.
Well, I mean, if somebody tell you, I feel like if you became the president, somebody said, "Hey, whatever you want to do, all you gotta do is write them on these
write
piece
an
of paper.
executive order and sign it with a big old Sharpie." I'm doing
because he's actually writing executive orders that don't make sense to be being written.
Well,
like,
but I'm also looking at the executive
birthright
statement.
citizenship, or is it a litmus test? Is he just writing, seeing how? I think this whole period is him seeing how far he can go.
Yeah, it's definitely he learned the first time, and the executive orders are the easiest way to get things done in the interim, right? So for a president to use these, they have the force of law, but they're not law. Some of the stuff he wants to do has to go through Congress because they got the money. But some of the stuff he is doing, he said he was going to do it, and he's doing it, and he knows he learned from the last time. I know that I have to go ahead and do what I want to do now before Congress starts tapering back. You know, he's been blocked on a few of them. Right, but he's also gotten away with a few of them. And hey, they in Alabama now. We all in Footendale and Huntsville. So presidents write executive orders. He that's not new. Obama did a lot of them, but the way he's doing them, to me, is saying that he does know what he's doing.
All right, 994-8949. Your president knows what he's doing. He loves you. He cares about you. He's going to be your protector. He told you that. He told you that. He said it directly to the ladies. He's going to save your black job. Now, your black jobs. And here we are. All that we've been talking about is your black jobs and DEI. And when you hear about DEI, you hear about the woke, reckless outlandish spending. That's basically how DEI is being dismantled. We started this conversation on Sunday last week, and we're going to continue it because it continues to come up. That's all we keep. I mean, no matter what it is, it's DEI. If it's I don't know if it's the cartoons.
Yeah, it's a network.
Talking about in everything. The stores you shop
What'd you
at,
say?
DEI.
Cartoon Network.
Yes, the price of the eggs, DEI. The people that passed it here, the person that died at the hospital yesterday, it was because of DEI. Everything is DEI. Yeah.
Gotta love it, though.
Yeah.
I gotta love it because they've made DEI woke to be almost identical concepts.
Yeah.
And it's humorous. Like literally, like everything they say is DEI. 2 years ago, everything they said was woke.
And now if it's woke, it's because of DEI, or if it's DEI, it's because it's woke, and we're not funding that. All this wokeness and this radicalism, we're not funding that.
That was 2020.
They just need
that was lightweight
language to mean black,
or
brown, or marginalized.
Ooh.
Correct.
But when they say they meaning black, they ain't really meaning other groups.
We'll find out in June for Pride Month. So, okay, another thing that happened over the week, there have been several letters sent out. If you're a federal employee, first of all, you had to get your butt back to work. Y'all are not working from home. We got these buildings and these desks and these offices and these whatever. Whatever. You going back to work. Okay.
So security, y'all hear that now?
You back to work. You a federal employee. Or you can get this package. You can get a severance package. We'll pay you till September.
For doing nothing.
No, we just want you gone.
That makes sense.
It's gonna save us some billions, Eddie.
Well, how is it gonna save you billions if you might as well say work until this period of time.
I want you out of here. Get out.
But see that don't make sense.
It does not make sense
for a legitimate purpose. It makes sense for a bunch of nefarious purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't have to pay insurance or taxes.
So get this money, sign here, and get out.
Yep, no taxes and no insurance has to be paid.
And Elon is going to put his robots in here to do your job. We're going to try them out. Okay, because this is what all of it sounds like to me. Just some sketch comedy. 994-8949 is the number. How has this week been for you politically? Do you understand what's going on? What type of feelings have you had about it? Caller, you're in with the show. You are the first caller of the night too. What's up?
Well, you know, we've been black. I'm gonna say I can dig it, but if you all was white, I'd tell you like Elvis. Think of real more. Show you how old I am. Think of real more. But I can dig it. Look. I apologize. How long you all been on the air? Since 7?
We come on at 7. You just a little late.
Yeah, the old man a lot late, but
it's
peep
okay.
this, y'all.
It's okay.
Peep this now. Peep this now. I done public speaking, ma'am, on white college campuses.
Okay.
Oh, we communicating for everybody. Let me say this as quickly as I can.
Yes, sir.
What I'm trying to say. I go to political meetings and sometimes rallies. I hear this a lot. I hear that all politics is local.
Mm-hmm.
I hear when it comes to crimes, they say the problem is the home. You know, this is rhetoric, and it's not being honest. How can politics be local in Birmingham, Alabama? And not just today. Birmingham, Alabama has always been an international city. So how can you talk about all politics local when you don't consider the financial relationship that Alabama and we as black people? A friend of mine, he says his father retired from a SIPCO. A SIPCO sells steel all over the world. We just down in the plant making it. We never thought about the financial aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Coal, we sold coal all over the world. I'm trying to say this. You say we said the problem of crime is the family. In the words of Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, we don't basically have families like traditional families, basically like white people. We have what is called survival units. I myself, I come from a broken home. I ended up living with my grandmother in a rural area, and partially. Yeah, but we don't have those extended family. I would say safety nets anymore. So now what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna use Mexicans for an example.
Okay.
I call a local, for example, to get you to understand what I'm trying to say. I call a local black talk show host. I told him a lot of Mexicans. I'm gonna use Mexico for an example. I said a lot of Mexicans send their money back home. I asked the local talk show host. I said, "Where you send your money?" But he tells everybody, we're Americans." Ma'am, if I told black people when I was a teenager that we're Africans, ma'am, they would want to cut my throat. Now let's get back to the Mexican, for example. They take one step across the Rio Grande, they back at home.
Yeah.
I tried to look. I Googled this. How many of us know that Mexico, despite the stream of them coming here, Mexico is one of the world's leading producers of gold, silver, petroleum, copper, and agriculture products. But our so-called leaders tell us to vote, boycott. We cut off, look, however strong or weak Africa is, it's a reflection of us. Okay. We're caught over here. Dr. King in 1959 was in Ghana. Oh, what are you doing over there? And guess what? Guess who over there with him?
Who that?
The Vice President of the United States, Richard Nixon.
All right, y'all. History lessons every time Mr. Smithfield calls in. So much to pull from. So one thing I'm always going to do is give our voices like that an opportunity to share because there's always so much to pull from. I said a couple of different things there that were very much relevant to the conversation. One of the main things being about the economic position that we have, the economic power that we do have. But we talked about that last week about how that won't, we don't really, I don't know how that would be strategized to make any sense for us. And where you send your money, and do you send it to Africa? Do you send it back to your mama? I don't know what you do. So that was a valid point. And you start talking about these tariffs. I want to bring it back to what's happening right now. Like, I remember months ago, Eddie, we talked about it, and you were talking about how you were really like digging into the terminology of what a tariff is and how it would impact whomever, whatever side. Yeah. And I told it was around the debate time because he said that was his favorite word.
It was. And still is.
Like, what the hell? That's your favorite? I'm going to name her tariff. That's his favorite word. And going back to that point, I want to say that may have been, was that September maybe? It may have been September. What is a tariff exactly?
A tariff is the fee that an importer pays when a good is being exported. So if a country is sending me something, I got to pay the American government to have gotten that thing. And if tariffs go up, then I'm not going to be like, well, I guess I'm going to have to take a financial hit. I'm going to charge the people who will buy my product more for the product.
I mean, yeah.
That's how it worked. And Trump was saying it was different than that. But it's not different than that. That's what it is.
So, do we have any understanding of what? Okay, so breaking news this morning. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. It was breaking news this morning, and you say that he says that that's not what it is, but that's what it is. If it ain't that, what else could it be? What could he be trying to say that it is?
Well, the people that he needed to vote for him, all he needed for them to believe is that he was gonna get other countries to pay for stuff.
Right.
Just period. Just pay for this stuff.
Like, yeah, he was going basically the countries that you're talking about, or that we're knowing that it has happened now. These are countries that are all involved in the Clinton deal, the free trade agreement.
The free trade for all the way back to the Clintons.
Yeah. So what he's trying to do is just recoup some of that money, but understand it. You want it to be about getting inflation, and that was your pitch then, until you found out that it wasn't going to help inflation. He had no economic plan. If y'all remember, he was just talking about tariffs.
I'm going to figure it out when I get there. Okay.
Okay. And now that he's there, he's saying,
here now.
Hey, I can't fix it.
We're going to go to the story in a minute. I'm going to go to the phone lines right quick. I want to hear what this caller got to say. Caller, you're in with the show. What's your question, comments, thoughts, or feelings?
Hey there, Woo. This is Chris Coleman. How you doing, baby?
What up, Chris?
How you feeling?
All is well. Just diving into Trumpster.
So let me explain something to you. We've been down this road before with the tariffs, and it did not work. It ended poorly.
Okay.
Can I explain that to you?
Please.
The Smoot-Hawley Act of 1930 is what put us in depression. The same thing Trump is doing now, but what happened was we didn't really have a relationship on exporting and importing there. We just did it. Basically, what's going to happen now is Canada's already said, if you put a tariff on us, we're going to put a tariff on you. Mexico's saying the same thing. China's saying the same thing.
Yes.
What are we going to do with those goods? And then everything's going to go up about 25%. So the eggs that are $6 now are going to probably be about $8.50.
Yep.
Okay.
For some eggs.
So for some eggs, $8.50 for a dozen. Okay. The gas that has been going up since he's got in office, because I remember back in November the gas was $2.43 a gallon. It's now $2.78, $2.80, $2.90, almost $3 at other places. That's going to rise about 18 to 20%.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to rise because now 60% of our 60% of our oil comes from where? Canada. So if Canada is going to tax us on that and shut that off, now your gas is going to be down near $10 a gallon.
Man.
Because we don't have that much in our reserves. So what I'm getting at is this is going to be epic failure, and this is what's going to come out of his mouth. All they need is the DEI. and these crazy MAGA heads are going to believe that.
Everything is DEI, even the gas,
DEI
even the eggs.
Baby, DEI is the new N-word.
All right.
Write that down.
Thank you, Chris.
Write that down. Thank you, baby.
Indeed. He jumped in the Trumpster with us. Got out the tank and got in the Trumpster. We're diving in the Trumpster. So before we get out of here for this first hour, here's what will get more expensive from Trump's tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China. Now, I just want you to think, before I read this, if you look around you now at whatever it is that we're using, wearing, or whatever, and see where it's from, let's see if we can look around right quick, or as I speak, where it's made. And just think about how this is about to play out. It's about to be crazy. We about to be broke. Okay. Yesterday, President Donald Trump made good on his promise to impose steep tariffs on America's three largest trading partners, Canada, China, and Mexico, citing a national emergency on the flow of fentanyl and undocumented immigrants into the United States. So he put them together. He put the fent and the illegal immigrants together. Okay.
He always sprinkle some nonsense.
We got to put it together. Okay. We got to
sprinkle something that don't got nothing to do with nothing for real. But if he can convince his people that it got something to do with something, he can get support.
We're going to put it together. Okay. Before we get out of here, let me read a little bit more of this to you. The action, which is expected to take effect Tuesday, includes a 25% duty on all imports from Mexico and most goods from Canada. There's a 10% carve out of energy related items such as crude oil, and an additional 10% tariff on Chinese goods imported into the United States. That's everything. It's only a few things that are made in America. Okay. Trump has used and promised to employ tariffs for three primary purposes: to raise revenue, to bring trade into balance, and to bring rival countries to the negotiating table. Y'all, we're in for a rude awakening. When we come back, we're going to get more on these tariffs. I want you to get your checking account pulled up too, to see if you're going to be able to survive. All right. We'll be right back. You're listening to the show on B94.9 WATV.
Yeah. Woo. Chris came in dropping them bombs, didn't he? So you got Smith and Chris on a Sunday? What you doing? What y'all doing in here, Eddie?
What'd you say?
Hey, $10. Marinos. I said loud. Mount, hey. Back in.
V94.9 WATV. We're back. It is the top of the 8 o'clock hour, the final hour of the Abby Award-winning Vital Show. People still ask, how long has the show been on? Baby, it's the longest running show of its kind. Okay, we've been on. It'll be 17 years. 17 years. The first Sunday in April. We started on the first Sunday in April in 2008. I had just had a little baby. Came back. And boom, it was on and popping. And it's been on and popping ever since. And we will celebrate 17 years in April, just in case you didn't know. And it has also been said, you all, that we are just so young. You know, it's always indicated that, you know, you all are youngsters. I appreciate that. I really do. But guess what? Jonathan just got new glasses, so he's definitely not a youngster. I'm a middle-aged adult. Okay, Eddie, we're middle-aged.
Mhm.
So we're not young like that. I just said the show will be celebrating 17 years. Marshall, the youngest one in here. She's 2 decades younger than we are.
We feel good about ourselves. We was at the nursing home.
Oh, yeah, because we were youngsters then,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Definitely.
But on this radio,
It's
OG.
relative. It's relative.
Right?
Y'all OGs.
I'm not a DEI hire. I'm here on purpose. You all are here because you're great, not for DEI purposes. Hello, Sister French. All right. She's still in stare mode.
Yeah. Come on back up. Come on back to the show.
Come on, yeah, come on, check back in. So you all, first hour, got a lot of information, got some confirmation, got some participation. The phone lines are always open to you, 994-8949, 205-994-8949. You can always comment on any of the streams that you follow. Let's see what we have. I saw you all over there checking those comments, so be sure to share them, y'all. Victoria says, see, I need to get some chickens.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so back to that. I told you all the reason why. We're talking about these tariffs that are going to be taking effect on Tuesday. Now, before we go any further in the article, there have been a lot of promises that Trump has made and a lot of things that he's tried to sign with his big black Sharpie that he was met with some opposition. You are not just going to do what you want to do because you signing this folder. You can't do that. So do you all think that these tariffs are going to take place on Tuesday? They're going to be dropped. We're going to be paying 25% on stuff Tuesday.
I would feel like if it could be stopped or some opposition could be up, then it would already be in progress.
It might be.
I just haven't heard that much pushback about the tariff piece. And by this point, it's something that like people don't agree with. There's a reasonable amount of pushback. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about executive orders to know who stops that.
I'm gonna say a judge, somebody's
Business,
judge.
Billionaires, industry leaders, and execs urge Trump to rethink devastating tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Yahoo
so wait a
Finance.
minute. So wait a minute.
Right
It's not governmental. It's business. It's the billionaires.
That's who run the world.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. So,
but when you use the word urge, it's like,
hey, bro, don't do that.
He really can, like, he's making this decision. I don't know how that changes.
Don't do it.
Well, when the business community start pulling dollars,
losing,
it makes everybody rethink calculations.
But okay, so to that
Money,
point though,
yeah.
why didn't they start that conversation a long time ago? All of y'all were sitting at the inauguration with him, so I'm quite sure this was a back office conversation around the table, cigar smoking, cognac sipping conversation.
Ooh, not yet.
They had the yak. And they was in the room in the back. And he was like, so y'all know I'm gonna put these tariffs into place.
Well,
he said it.
The billionaires with them, they don't got much of a product.
Amazon, Google, Facebook Market.
Well, when you talk about the TikTok dude, when you talk about Mark Zuckerberg, when you talk about Elon Musk, like they got a platform, but like, and they got interest in other stuff that are physical, but like it ain't like how it's gonna impact people who make whiskey for a living, or who make a product for a living, right? Like those billionaires, I just don't. One thing I don't understand is what this helps.
Okay.
I just have no idea what I just can't conceptualize why he would keep standing on this thing.
Because he loves the word. Let's
he
find
won.
out more. Let's find out more. Trump has used and promised to employ tariffs for 3 primary purposes: to raise revenue. That's number one. I'm raising the revenue. On what? To bring trade into balance and bring rival countries to the negotiating table.
To negotiate what?
So you heard my first question. To raise the revenue on what? Bring trade into balance. I mean, okay. And then to bring rival countries to the negotiating table on what? So maybe the tariffs are being used as a bargaining tool. These are used as a threat. If I put these on you, you'll either lower this or do that. And we did see it happen last week.
But this hustling backwards to me.
I'm gonna bully you into giving.
It's like telling your friend, look, I'm gonna beat you up. And they're gonna be so terrified that they're gonna give us their stuff.
Yeah. Because they're gonna see you take this whipping from me. I'm not gonna beat you bad.
This is what happening. Like, why we got to be the bargaining chip for whatever he's trying to figure out?
Okay. I don't know. Kristen, what you got?
Go ahead.
I just thought about this. So you were saying that it would not impact like Facebook, TikTok, stuff like that. But I think in the long run, it could, because that's how they make a lot of their money with advertising. So if I can't advertise here, then I'm just not going to pay you. So that's going to take out of your pocket. So I think that's where that would work.
Okay. So advertisement, marketing, possibly, subscriptions, memberships. The world runs off of Amazon. And so that's what I'm like. Jeff Bezos is like right there in the back room smoking a cigar with the cognac. So like he was in on a discussion. Maybe we need to be billionaires.
I guess when I look at social media, I'd be like, they say that if you're not paying for something that we the product, we not gonna stop being the product in the same way that like something on the shelves is the product.
Yeah.
And with Amazon is the mediator between a lot of people with products.
True.
More so than Amazon. I mean, Amazon got like Amazon Basics, which is essentially they find people who have high yield products that are selling, and they copy the design and then they put it on the front page. Yeah. So you get their version of it, but otherwise it would make more sense if the billionaires are pushing back on it. But like either they are pushing back and Trump just going to do Trump thing, or they not pushing back. And I don't understand why they wouldn't be if they're going to suffer with everybody else.
My. Well, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce warned Saturday that tariffs won't solve the years-long issues at the borders and instead threaten to upend supply chains and raise prices for American families. Consumers are going to be clearly worse off, Sung-Won Son, professor of finance and economics at Loyola. These too many damn words. I need Stare to come back in here and help me with this. Let's skip down. It's too much. It's too much. Tired. Okay. When you talk about a tariff, it's an economic war. And in war, everybody loses. Okay. But hopefully, we will come to some better results and conclusions as a result of the pain and suffering that we will go through. So they're warning we're going to go through pain and suffering. So that's why I asked during the break, if you checked your account, do you have at least 6 months worth of emergency funds, groceries, resources that you can pull from? And I must admit, I got a whole lot of stuff, but I don't know that any of it is going to help me and my family survive. So tariff, everything from Mexico, China, and Canada. Let's look at food. Mexico and Canada supply a significant share of several key food categories, y'all. For example, Mexico is the largest supplier of fruit and vegetables to the United States. All y'all trying to eat healthy. So there go your dragon fruit and all that. You can't get it. It's going to be high. It's going to be $20 per dragon fruit and $17 per Granny Smith green apple. Mexico, yes. No. No. Smoothies, no. While Canada leads in exports of grain, livestock, and meats, poultry, and more. Agricultural products from Mexico and Canada in particular could become more expensive for consumers as grocery retailers operate on thinner profit margins than most industries. With little room to absorb higher tariffs cost, the grocers may have to pass them on to shoppers. So that's like all the basic things: the grains, the meat, the chicken. What else they say? The fruit. That's it. unless it's made at the Coke factory. You can drink some drinks, water. What y'all gonna do?
I'm pescatarian. So.
Oh, you're pescatarian. You gonna go fishing?
Yeah.
Okay. All you need is a fishing rod. Okay, I can't do that. So what am I gonna do? Fuel and energy. This is big. Oh man, fuel and energy. The U.S. imported $97 billion worth of oil and gas from Canada last year. That country's top export to the U.S. The U.S. has become more reliant on Canadian oil since the expansion of Canada's Trans Mountain pipeline, according to data from the U.S. Energy Information Administration. The tariff on Canadian energy products is only 10%, not the 25% tariff announced on other Canadian exports. That'll limit the impact on gasoline prices. Global head of energy analysis for Opus says that another factor is the time of the year. Gas prices are typically near a low for the year in February due to weak demand. If the tariffs stay in place through the summer, the impact will be greater, he said. Yeah, I got to move around this summer. So, baby, everywhere. So I need y'all to figure this out. 994-8949. Y'all got to figure it out.
You know what I learned doing this? Canada has something to do with America's power.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know it either. They said they were going to flip the switch.
I'm like, I'm learning stuff in this moment. They also said they were going to target red states more than anything.
Oh, damn.
So I'm like,
I got to move.
One of them conversations. And why you move back to Alabama? I don't even know.
I'm about to go. I'm not coming. Right? Man, so how are you going to survive? That flips the whole conversation. It makes it real for you. So a lot of people still don't understand how real November was, like the results and the outcomes of voting for this individual as the president of the United States. Out of all the billions of people that were available to be the president, that could have been, that are smart enough, that are competent enough, that are capable enough, that are likable enough, and we got Donald Trump. So, dog, we gotta edit that. I gotta get this Trumpster diving in the Trump. I gotta get some. Yeah, we gotta get DJ French Kiss gonna mix it up for me. I need a little feature open. So what are you all gonna do? 994-8949 is the number. Like, what are the resources that you already have in place? What are your thoughts about what this looks like 6 months from now if Tuesday starts tariffs? A lot of people are joking about it, like, I'm gonna just. And it's like, no, it's really not funny. Like, at this point, you all really have to figure out how to maneuver. How are you going to survive? Yeah. All right.
It's that part that bothers. This that part that bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
All the people who were so far into this, man, Trump. Even people that came on the show, like,
oh gosh,
this blueprint, and it's like, it's hurting everybody else because you can afford to have a plan. Most people who were saying those things could afford to have that plan. Come on, man. This is so bad on so many levels when you think about the vast majority of people who can't afford $10 eggs. The vast majority of people who cannot afford $3.05 for regular anymore. Like, come on, man. It's like you killing.
$3.05 for eggs. Did y'all see? I tried to cook one egg one morning. That's all I had was one egg. I tried to scramble one egg, and I was so mad. What the hell am I finna do with this? It was this much.
I'm talking about nothing but a tuna fish.
That's it. It was one egg. I said, oh, so that means I always have to get at least 2 or 3 eggs. And you say a dozen?
10.
So you mean to tell me $10 for 12 eggs, and I got to eat 3 of them every time? That only lasts me 4 days if I only do it for breakfast. But if I cook something where I got to use eggs, I got that's $40 worth of eggs because I'm about to
get that 24.
You know what I wonder is, what is the threshold? What is the threat? Like, how bad do the supporters of him lives have to get in order to say maybe we made a bad decision? Or, it's a whole bunch of people that's been in this F around to find out situation to where a lot of people have like found out and been like, okay, this is a problem. But like, for the people who have been MAGA and staunch supporters of him, I wonder what it would take for them to not just keep advocating and, drinking his Kool-Aid.
He's the president. Why, Eddie?
Because I want to know what it takes as a man. Like, I didn't. I was not aware that we would vote for something like this, and so now I want to know what will reverse it. I want to know the threshold. I want to know how far. You know what I'm saying? Like I would say that we would have never voted for somebody like Trump back when he got voted for in the first time. Now I want to know how far he can go where people will be like, okay, it's
No
a wrap.
impeachment.
I mean, he already aggressively sending Latino community back. He's removing all kinds of DEI. Ain't no department of the government celebrating no Black history, no Latino
Juneteenth.
history, no Native American, any cultural identifying month. Can't do that. We gonna stop the Air Force from teaching about the Tuskegee Airmen, the literal best, most qualified people for the job. You know, implicating that it got something to do with DEI. I don't like it's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening that like I can conceptualize happening in this way. I'm interested what becomes too much. Because this now I don't know the history well enough, but if you get on TikTok and you start reading, they say that the way that Hitler's Germany became that way took 53 days.
Oh.
They say 53 days, government and their system was changed to the degree that all of this stuff was happening.
Wow. And
So,
everybody just basically stood by and allowed or either participated.
Yeah. Now I'm not saying that he has the intention to go as far as, killing people. But what I am saying is that the campaigns of disenfranchising and disconnecting and disjoining all of the people that he's doing is going to have an outcome. Like, it's going to have an outcome. Even if, just like the same with all of this language, is the reason why that airline pilot family don't want her name to be out there, because the outcome is going to be people are going to be treating her a certain type of way. Won't even allow a family to grieve her appropriately. Like, it's an outcome to these actions and how he's characterizing different people and how his leadership is doing it and how the Republican Party is allowing it to happen if they don't agree with it. And if they agree with it, then where are we headed with a Republican Party that has the power and the control in the Senate and the House?
Well,
the executive branch and the Supreme Court.
So your bigger question is, where are we headed with this type of representation in both houses, or in the House and the Senate, and even in the Supreme Court? So yeah, a lot of people feel trapped in what we've allowed to be set up. Do you all take responsibility for what has happened anyway? Because remember, the line was, we only had 100 days.
Responsibility.
I'm like, hell no, I don't. That's how you just said that.
I mean, the black folks who voted for Trump, I don't know if they can take responsibility.
We had some. Too many.
And not just that, but then those who didn't vote, those who didn't believe that a woman was capable, those who thought that Biden was too old.
They voted for him. That's the way it goes.
Were like 6 million.
6 million people did not vote.
Yeah. And not voting gave him a vote. That's how it works.
Mama. All right.
Well, what as a culture, what's the responsibility? Because if 100% of black people would have voted, if 100% of men and women would have voted against Trump, Trump still would have won.
Correct.
So what do we see the responsibility as far as the outcome of him winning the election?
Yeah, white women didn't vote. It's always white women.
But that's what I'm saying. When you say we have some responsibility, what do you perceive the responsibility to be in this particular moment where we at?
Okay, so if you say 100% of us vote for him,
if everybody, if every no black person would have voted for him, he still would have won.
Oh yeah, I mean the way that,
you know what I'm saying,
that
like,
he won was insane.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm saying, like, we did not have a metric of control in the outcome in that way.
No. So when you take away the percentage that he did win with men, you give him a very clear shot to get 273. But white women always control the elections. They are the electorate. And so when you add the Hispanic population into it with it, those two percentages will give you the win, even if it's all of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because it's that number.
Correct.
It's that number.
So we can swing on the election now. Don't get it twisted. If we all unified.
Okay. So now that we're past now that we're past that, that's why I asked the question. We're in it now. We missed that mark. So now we're in it.
Yeah, we got it. Time
So
for
what?
plans and strategies.
Okay, so that's what I go back to that every time, like the responsibility of now, not the responsibility of then, because we didn't seize that day.
Well, when the question of what responsibility do we have,
Mm-hmm.
I be in these TikTok streets. And there's a lot of people who are
They
saying,
lurking
listen,
in the street.
there's a lot of people saying, look, so we did our job as a
I mean-
community. We did what we were supposed to do. You know, so when we're talking about like the responsibility that we hold at this moment,
Yeah.
like I think it's our cultural choice to decide where our support goes in this moment. You know, now me, I'm a very compassionate, empathetic person. I think that everybody needs support. I mean, because on TikTok you'll find somebody all across it that'll say, "Well, shoot, y'all vote for him, Latinos. Yeah, y'all was like
Man.
Latinos for Trump, you know." And they saying, "Well, y'all don't need our help now, you know."
I
So,
mean,
but I think that the reality is that once, if all the Latinos go tomorrow, then the ire is just gonna be sent to somebody else. It's like it's in our best interest for everybody to be free, because if one group gets ostracized and they gone, then another one gonna get
it's
ostracized.
just
And
gonna
it's
fall on
always
the next group.
it's just the dominoes just falling that way.
Wow.
I think the responsibility for us is to look after us.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
That's where
I mean, everybody did what was best for them. Now y'all see how that's turning out for you.
Uh-huh.
How y'all feeling in Footendale? How y'all feeling in Huntsville? My brothers and sisters of the Hispanic community. Yeah, he all up in these Alabama streets with ice.
Like they say, it's icy
Like,
out. Make sure
it's
you
really
put your
icy.
put your
Yeah,
coats on.
we got cold emails and group meetings for
Man.
the show up.
My 994-8949
Get that
is the
work.
number. Yeah.
Get that work. 'Cause that's what you want.
Yeah.
And see, my vantage point different because I got Latino clients.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I can't just carve them
Now,
out. I
J-Hat.
can't just carve them out and be like,
Your
you know,
parents voted
I
for
don't
Trump.
support none of y'all, but y'all are cool. And then when we talk about
Who
how
does like that?
like how disconnected all of the Latino cultures are.
Mhm.
Like Cubans definitely come over here and live a more white life than Mexicans. So it's like when you talk about Puerto Ricans, all of the different Latino groups, we bundle them up all in one. They all have their own different cultures within that and why they have different issues. We talk about temporary protected status.
Yes.
That he's taken away from Venezuelans. There's other countries that have temporary protected status that, for all intents and purposes, they shouldn't be at risk of being like. There's so many complicated parts of this where the things that he's taken away, we can have stuff taken away. You know what I'm saying? And so if we okay with somebody having stuff taken away because it ain't really impacting us now, it's just a matter of time before something gets taken away from us that impacts us. So it's like I don't think we could be okay with anything being taken away from anybody from my vantage point.
And it's already starting. The D, the E, the I. Hey, what you see? The list from Canada.
Yeah, this Canada list.
It's tough.
Hey, orange juice, peanut butter.
Okay, hold on, pause. Don't even start because we got to do how we did last week with the
Okay.
other list. Let's go to the phone lines. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all before I come to these phone lines. Not long, brief. Let's go. Caller, you're in with the show. Question, comment, or thoughts and feelings.
Hey, how you doing there, Woo? Again.
What up, brother?
I want to answer that question, sweetheart, that you just asked about how those that voted for him and MAGA, somebody said, when is it gonna, like, when the light's gonna come on?
Yes.
A guy from Venezuela, I don't know if y'all saw this story, but a guy from Venezuela had his green card. His wife was 2 weeks away from getting her green card.
Mm-hmm.
ICE came in and asked for the papers. He showed his. She didn't have hers. She had to leave, and he begging Trump, I voted for you. You know, can you bring my wife back? And the answer is no. So my thing is, you know, these MAGA people, man, if you go on these pages, this girl told us if Jesus was here today, he would have to have papers to be here.
Oh.
She had a MAGA hat on. Yeah, this is how they feel. He has brainwashed these. What it is, dog, these people have always been racist. They just needed an excuse to bring it out, and he gave it to them.
Woo. All right.
He gave it to them. So that's what happened. So if you're looking for them folks to change, they would have to die, and everybody in their house would have to die for them to say, okay, yeah, we made a mistake. Other than that, they're going to keep it moving.
Damn. Y'all can tune in and get more of that with Chris and the Think Tank on tomorrow, 4 p.m. right here on B94.9 WATV. Caller, you are in the show. Give you a few minutes. Let's go.
Yes, ma'am. I apologize for calling back. I heard
Don't
one of the hosts.
apologize. Come on.
I heard one of the hosts say this,
Mm-hmm.
and the brother just ended his conversation saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The ability. Can you hear me, ma'am?
We hear you. Go ahead.
The ability. I was told the ability to think black is rare these days. But it's common sense. All groups look out for their best interests, except the American Negro. Because of a slave mentality, they identify and look out for the best interests of their masters. For whatever reason. This conversation shouldn't even be going on. Ever since after slavery, we should have been thinking out what's best for us. All ethnic groups do this. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm a veteran.
Yes, sir.
Fought for this country. I'll do it again. But my question is, it's not a question of black loyalty. The question is, how loyal is this country to us? We don't ask these questions. No, ma'am. We don't. That's why we're in the condition that we're in. How loyal is our government? How loyal is the corporate community for super rich, like you all been talking about, to run this world? How loyal are they to us? And now it includes the whites.
All right. 994-8949 is the number you can get in with your comment, questions, thoughts, and feelings about this conversation. We're just talking about what's happening in the old United States of America that we happen to be a part of. So now, do we want to go to the list, or Eddie, did you just see something else?
I was going to say we absolutely as a culture need to focus on ourselves. I talk about patriarchy all the time and how we really just been operating on, as black men, we've been operating on a white man template of how do we exist as men. We hadn't sat down as a community and said, how do we want to exist? We just been going with they thing. So when you talk about other cultures, nearly every other culture has a direct link to their ancestry that says this is how we exist in our culture. Now, when you come to America, that's shaped up. But when we talk about people that have been a part of the African slave trade and how we don't have that link, the only place you can get how you operate from is from that culture that stripped everything you had from you. So it becomes a complex conversation because the Mexican community know what their ancestors are. Every other community you mention can just have a home that they go back to. So it's a very strong disconnect from the only culture that we know to be able to start having a conversation about what the new way our culture should exist is. So it's a lot more complex than I think comparing it to what other cultures have access to in terms of they all advocate for themselves, but we don't have a traditional cultural self to identify.
And that's why so many people are so sad about their blackness, like just the disadvantages that are automatic for us. A lot of people look at it in a very defeated way. You know, like I don't see an out as far as being black or as far as progressing in a way that is substantial. All we see is day to day. I see the next day. That's difficult because, you know, when you think about, and let's tie this in now. I think this is a good time, Eddie, based on what you just said. The 2025 theme for African American History Month, Black History Month, is African Americans in labor, talking about our contributions to the workforce and labor. We built America. That's the contribution, and so much in it. The ideals of how things are developed and created, we did that. We do that. But there's some block, some barrier that keeps us from understanding how important we are to that fabric now and how vital our ancestors were to the original fabric of the United States of America. I don't think that anybody under this age group really is aware of our contributions in that way. That's old. And then now you look at what we have as far as leadership, that's about to be erased. That's extinct. Y'all better not talk about that. You better not talk about that Black History program and not talk about everybody else. Because why would you do that? You need to talk about those white people too. When you get up here trying to have a Black History program, my boy. Yeah. y'all trying to sing that Negro national anthem, you better go somewhere else and sing it. You're not gonna sing it at this federal place, and you're not wearing that dashiki up in here on your lunch break and having that potluck. You're not doing it. You take it home.
You know, another part of the conversation for me, because I mean, I know the sentiment that I express is one that irritates people because it irritates me to have to say what the origin of us look like. But even the diaspora wars, to where not all Africans, but there are a lot of Africans that don't look at us as being connected to Africa. And like, to me, that whole thing is just like a reminder that we're
displaced.
We're displaced. We don't have that origin that I desire to have. But a very hard conversation to have is, how much are we actually operating outside of European standards as a culture? How far outside of that are we acting? And again, I say, as men, have we really sat down and said, how should we exist as Black men that would differ significantly from how white men exist in our country? Because right now is very, very similar, because we don't have no other template. What would that look like if we sat down and really had that conversation with ourselves as men?
It would be dope, but I think it'll be so much ego, so much ridiculousness that nothing would happen. Because because
I want to sit down and have those conversations. I mean, I had these conversations one-on-one with me, and when I work with them,
we need you to.
You know, it's like, who told you that you couldn't dance, you couldn't cry, you couldn't be emotional?
Okay.
How do we know what of this came or didn't come from Africa versus came or didn't come from Europe? How much of this stuff was beat out of us, or how much of this stuff was beat into us?
The Million Man March was the last attempt that I can think of. What came of that?
Assassination.
Ooh. Out of the Million Man March, basically.
No.
Wait, that wasn't the Million Man March.
No, that was the.
I'm talking about I Have a Dream.
Yeah,
Have a Dream.
That's a good 5 years in between. I think we don't have the Black leadership.
Okay, here we go.
And we go back to that. I know we said it last week, but it goes back to the fact that there are too many people that want to be the chief.
Yeah.
And
I gotta run
everybody
everybody
can't be the chief, although you can have more than one chief.
Yeah.
But
gosh,
we have a problem with following each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, in real talk. So like, even when it comes to like local, like, everybody's so me, myself, and I. Everybody's so pro agenda. So we can't see big picture.
Yeah.
And without vision, people perish. Who has the vision? Because nobody's leading it.
Well, if they're not rich, the vision doesn't matter. If they're not male, the vision doesn't matter. If they're not of certain age, they have to be old enough. The vision doesn't matter.
Sexuality.
Oh yeah. You got to be married, or especially if you're a man, you got to be married to a wife that you might not even like, but you need to be married.
A lot of gay erasure in the civil rights.
Yeah. A lot of bearding and lavender marriages going on. What else? It's a lot of different hoops and loops you have to go through, which is why people do end up just kind of having these conversations and not acting on them.
Okay.
Oh man.
But so for me, this comes all the way back around to be honest, like, we need to have conversations within our community and learn how to advocate for our community better and different in the same way that those other cultures do.
Yeah.
But we have to sit down and have a conversation about what we want our culture to look like outside. I mean, with what we've already built from this new identity, and how do we build onto that identity more intentionally? But to me, it also comes back around to, I don't think we have the luxury of letting other cultures be obliterated by the white man's whims if we expect to get something out of it too.
What does that mean? Simplify that.
Of allowing white men to say that this whole group, you got to go. We just with the wave of this wand, you got to go now. We taking away birthright citizenship. We taking away protected statuses. We don't care if you was close to even being, a citizen. That got to go. If you were married to somebody but you just can't show paperwork, you got to go. And even somebody who is an American citizen that don't supposed to have paperwork that look Latino, we can just take you to jail too.
Right.
Like, what I'm saying is, if they can just wave they wand and do something to harm one group that they don't like, the criteria for waving that wand is just not liking somebody. And we already know we ain't liked. So if we accept that they can do it to somebody else, we next. We on deck.
I mean, but yeah, we always are on deck. 994-8949. You can talk about your Black experience in this Black History Month. You can talk about your week in the Trumpster, aka the dumpster. You can talk about that. You can talk about whatever your love month, all that. You can talk about that right now. 994-8949. You can talk about all these news stories. You could talk about it's been so much. I'm talking about every time you turn the news on, it's something political. Something has been said. Somebody has been removed. Something has changed. And I'm quite sure you've been impacted and affected by that. And like I told you guys, for as much as we are impacted by it, there's still only a certain amount of it that I'm going to entertain. So if you are one of those who takes it all in and you're emotional and you wear your emotions and you want to talk about something like that every time I see you, I won't see you. We won't talk.
And even that person need to take a break intentionally every now and then from this overload. Like I said,
Yeah.
I think this the news fatigue. To me, I feel like this is a strategy. I feel like we're gonna try to do as many egregious things as we possibly can. So when they get tired and stop paying attention, then the stuff we do is gonna be what really changes the system. So I think we have to depend on some stuff happening, some stuff being challenged, some stuff being pushed, but it actively being stuff in the news.
Yeah.
I think that's intentional.
All right. What's happening in your community then? Like if I don't watch the news, I ain't doing this, I'm not doing that. What is happening in your area, in your neck of the woods that you're impacted by? This is also an election season right here in the city, like locally, city council elections, the mayor seat will be open. So all of these different things are happening right here where we are. I'm not really hearing anything about it. Nothing.
Locally, I was bothered by the Huffman student. They got killed. The 18-year-old.
Okay.
This morning.
Okay.
2:00 in the morning.
So I'm gonna tell you, I did not even know that happened.
Right down the street.
Really?
Right
Huffman student right down this street on this side of
right
town.
Here in Central Park. 50 something street, 57th street against.
Okay. Any details?
No, but again, Birmingham City Schools got to put out another statement, and I'm tired of Birmingham City Schools putting out statements about losing kids.
Yeah,
it's been way too many of our kids. Yeah.
And then in those type circumstances, the reason why we made sure, Peanut, you come on tomorrow. Like I saw him yesterday. Come on tomorrow. Let's talk about what you got going on and let's show you some love because there are so many of those stories and so many of those situations with our young people. High school student out at 2 a.m.
Yeah, 18 hours. 2 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's so many different things to consider with that.
Layers, right? What's the curfew?
Yo, the whole situation. Carmen, your curfew is 10:30. And that's that. You don't like that, you won't go nowhere. So it's all of those, it's so many different.
So many components.
Yeah.
Also did get a chance to visit Representative Wonderland Gavans. Danny Carr spoke. Sheriff Petway spoke. Ontario Representative Tillman.
About gun violence.
Yeah. So the numbers are startling. Since 2017, it's been over 1,000 deaths. Ouch.
Over 1,000 since 17.
And we're talking about the whole, so it's too many.
Okay.
In this metropolis. So yeah, when you start putting numbers together, you start painting pictures. It gets to be real serious. And then you have the campaigning going on.
Do you really though? That's really what I'm saying.
For the people who've announced, yeah,
because everybody I saw that didn't even announce, I saw them drop out. I'm like, the damn race ain't even started. You quit before you started. I saw one lady said, due to something, I'm not gonna be running for mayor. Ma'am, we didn't. When did you make your announcement? So she already out. Couple folk city council, they were rumbling about it. Then they made an announcement they weren't. We didn't even have a chance to know. So maybe that's a good thing. But you got till August. What is this? March, April, May, June, July, August. You got 6 months at this point to go ahead and get in the race. I don't need y'all saying, well, I only had 100 days. We never do that again. Yeah, never do that again. You all did that with this race. This don't do that again. Okay. So in essence, nothing really different here in Birmingham. Just same old, same old.
And I do have a question. What do y'all think about the curfew coming back?
I didn't know it was ever gone. I just didn't think it was enforced.
Well, that too.
I like what? So the curfew was in place. I know when we were in school, you had to be in by a certain time or accompanied by a parent or an adult.
Unless you had a work excuse or something like that, you had to have that paperwork.
And even if you had that, you can only be so old working after a certain time anyway. So yeah. What do I feel about it? I feel that it should be enforced if it's still on the books, which I think it is. And then if it's not enforced, or if it's enforced and the young person is found violating, I feel that the parent should be punished. There we go. That's what I think.
I don't even know. I don't like it.
You don't?
You don't like it?
Well, I just don't like it because of the state of police and how aggressive they end up being in situations like this with scared kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean,
pause. If you scared, stay at home. Ain't nobody scared out at 2:00 in the morning. I know what I'm doing out at 2 and I'm 16.
Well, 11 o'clock still would be a problem. You know what I'm saying? 11 o'clock ain't bad. You know, like when I was growing up, my house, kids was over my house playing dominoes until midnight.
Where you lived?
Well, I'm just saying, I lived in Lynette, small little boondock town. But what I'm saying is, kids don't see 10:30 the way that you saying we should see 10:30.
They don't.
You know, and 2:00, yeah, that's egregious.
Yeah.
But like 10:30, 11, 12 is about when I go to sleep. And if you 16 with a car, and I get caught up at my homeboy house, we watching TV, me being out at 10:30, 11, 12.
You're on punishment, Eddie.
But I'm saying if he end up getting pulled over at 11 o'clock, or he's walking down the street to his car and the police pull by and stop and say, "Hey, where your papers at?
Yeah.
How old is you? Are you a student?
How old is you?"
Then that could turn into conflict. And I don't like unnecessary confrontation with police.
Okay.
I feel like if the parent can get consequences for it, then the parent need to figure out how to keep their kids in the house if that's the situation.
Exactly. That's the whole point.
That's my point of the curfew. Stay at home.
I feel like if parents could do that, a curfew would need to be implemented for them to stop them.
So since you can't do it, we will have to do it.
We'll help you do it. But the issue is, ain't nothing good happening at that time. And it's so funny because like my group of boys, like my clique and the cliques that, the high school fraternities, like the party ain't in at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Back in in high school, like we get home, we had crystals at 2. Getting home by 2:30. But it's different. Like it's a different time.
And our parents knew,
but honestly,
it was totally different because I'm out.
And when those cell phones, we got beepers.
If that.
But we are playing cards to 3, 4.
Go to LR Hall. You at a party. You go to the what? Now I just told Carmen this the other day. I went to a lock-in, y'all. Cabot Sigma side had a lock-in at the Y on the south side. Y'all remember that Y? Mm-hmm. Why we? How they let us go to a lock-in with a frat? That's all right. I didn't do that, but they did it. Like we used to do stuff like that.
Right down, going up the hill.
Yes, we used to do that. We used to do stuff like go to the skating rink. I don't even know. We used to go to the skating rink, go to Valley, get dropped off. You wait on your parents outside in the front. We used to go to even to the one on the east side, Skate Haven. You would go to Skate Haven. You would go to us. We go walk around the mall for hours. Just go walk around the mall, sitting there and eat, get numbers, pass your bid. Well, we had business cards, so tweet on it.
Yeah.
And an AKA or BKA. What was your AKA?
I don't remember having the cards.
You ain't had no card.
I'm a little older, y'all. We ain't have phones. It was beepers cards.
You had a card?
Nah.
You ain't had no card?
Y'all we had beepers.
Y'all not ghetto.
Yeah, we had pagers cards.
Pagers, yeah, I did a beeper for a little while. You turn upside down, you read the code, but we had a business card and you gave that out. That was what you gave your number on. We printed it out on the little papers from Walmart that you make it big.
Y'all were real fancy. Yeah, you forgot I'm a little older.
Just a little bit.
Like a decade.
Things were different. Long story short, things were different. We rode in the car. We could ride in the car 6 and 7 deep then, and it was just kind of what it was. Those are teenagers. Make sure they got their seatbelts on. Y'all go get where you're going. But now you see that you don't just see a car with teenagers in it. You see a car with teenagers with everybody in the car, especially guys with a switch. So yeah, like it's got to be a curfew.
I understand. I mean, I understand why it should be one, but until the state of policing in America change, I'm just not interested in giving police a reason outside of crime for them to just pull over somebody because they see them and to be able to ask them questions.
Even in a city, even in a chocolate city like Birmingham
in
with
Montgomery.
I'm not interested.
It doesn't matter.
I'm not interested.
All right.
Until it change, until the numbers of responsible policing go up for me, that's where I'm at.
And according to what we're looking at as far as the permissions and the lack of concern, that's another thought I was thinking about, how Trump has pardoned those who attack police officers, but then has this alternative or this other view about policing. And that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Mr. Walker says the curfew is a direct benefit for children like breakfast. That's just a part of childhood.
I'm just saying, like, hey, enforce it. If it's on the book, put it on the book.
Okay.
Make it be on the book.
All right. Marshall, you're the youngest here. What was your curfew? When you were what age did you have a curfew that you had to follow?
I would say maybe like 16, 17, 18. But I'm trying to think, like, because I remember my prom night, I think I had to be back home by like 11:30.
Did you go back home?
Yes.
I'm trying to see how.
Wow.
I went back home, but I'm trying to see how did we end up at a room. Okay. Yeah.
My parents wasn't playing that. I wasn't going in a room.
I think I went to change. So how we used to be going to a room? How did we even do that?
Straight to the room.
I
don't remember if I had one for prom, but I definitely
don't be on here lying.
I'm sure I did. Maybe I did. I probably did. But what I do remember is that it was the sun was coming up and I was sneaking in. Ma, I know you hear this, but
I mean, yeah, it's been so long ago. We're middle aged now.
Yeah, I think I snuck in.
So yeah, we were different. Things were different. But then you think about like the bigger picture and how things were different. These were our experiences. We are mentioning our parents. We're talking about the people that were at home looking for us and waiting on us. That I don't know if it's that they cared enough. I don't know I don't know how we want to define that or how we want to gauge why that type of active participation and active parenting made a difference in that, Eddie. Like in us saying that, yeah, I'm pushing the limits tonight. I'm about to stay out here till the sun come up.
But I guess we didn't do that. I guess when it comes to curfew, I feel like the parents who have kids that will follow their rules will already follow their rules. And I guess it's a small sliver of parents who would fear the consequences enough that they will stop them kids. But on the other side of that, the kids who parents ain't intentional. They ain't even paying attention to where their kids at. And they already believe that their kids is a lost cause. And they ain't finna drop what they finna do to make sure this kid at home at 10:30 if they intend to be somewhere else.
Okay.
So I guess a sliver of kids that a curfew will help because the parents will be like, no, you can't go nowhere and you ain't been responsible enough to be home. So you can't and they will listen.
If you don't listen, now you get out. And then when you get out, you get in the streets even further because you can't come here with that mess. So
I would just need to know that the police are engaging with those kids more than they engaging with kids who just got off of work. Yeah, or kids who really ain't doing no harm, or like kids who really ain't causing no problem. I just would need to see what those numbers look like of who they really engaging with and confronting in these moments.
Another thought that just came up for me was that if our police department was that active and that involved and engaged, Eddie, a lot of what we're seeing would not be happening already. They would already be in these spaces. So I don't like to see them in the spaces to harass the young people as opposed to maybe getting in the middle of these drive-bys or these whatever, these attacks, these murders and homicides. Like, I don't know that, like a preventive standpoint. I'm not seeing them involved in that way anyway already. So I just don't see them saying we're gonna post up and look out for young people, and then when we find them, we're gonna be mean to them.
No, because they short 200 officers.
200.
They short 200 officers. They ain't got time to be doing it like that.
I thought about going to do the agility test just to see.
Also, like if the intention of a curfew is to stop more murders, how many kids are on their way to harm somebody that would be stopped by a parent saying you can't go out tonight. If they already that far gone, like how many kids do we believe who going out to harm somebody could be stopped with a conversation? I mean, you could definitely stop by the police.
Yeah.
But like, as far as encouraging parents to be more strict with them, a kid that's about to harm somebody, I don't know what the overlap between a parent that can control that kid is and a kid that's going to be wilding out like that anyway. I don't know.
Okay.
Here's a thought. What about this? What about even if we get the curfew on the books, it starts working? Can we trust that the police won't be scared to stop the switch boys?
Oh, good. Like that's
So
Would
there
you
is
be-
this law. I think they're probably just as nervous to stop these kids than anything because I mean they could lose their life just by getting out. Hey, where you coming from? Bang.
That's
I mean,
insane.
it's just you have to think about stuff like that.
now, because I ain't
So
scared that,
you worried about the conflict. The conflict may not be on the police.
yeah.
The conflict
Well,
is
the
gonna be with this unruly kid who's already out, knowing that he doesn't need to be out on his way somewhere. These kids nowadays are just not trained to say, yes, sir.
So it's about the approach too.
correct. If you pull up, hey, sir, where you going? It's past curfew. Where you been? Where you going? Why you asking me? I don't have to answer to you. Let me see what your badge number. Like it's so aggressive. The kids are just kind of aggressive. I don't know what we have to do to raise the level of emotional intelligence with this generation, but it has to be some way. So if somebody has some answers out there, like let us know.
I'll take that. 994-8949 is the number. That conversation all around the board, the emotional intelligence being something that is like you don't teach intelligence, but you do train people in you give people knowledge. So if we're having parenting classes or if we're having community workshops or whatever, like I know that I've been asked to do a class on conflict resolution in a few weeks. That's conflict resolution, but then let's talk about before we get to a conflict, which would be emotional intelligence and just situational awareness as officers. Maybe that's something that we advocate for. Hey, we need officers to be more astute with confrontation, how you do that. So I will say this: when the whole thing happened with the van, when the van was burglarized and I'm standing out on the sidewalk 4 o'clock in the morning and it's drizzling and this man and jacked my van up to the point where I can't turn it off. And I'm like, hey, so let him out of the back of this van so he can bring his ass over here and turn my van off because he messed it up and turned it on. And I was thinking that like all of these male officers that were standing out here would help me turn it off. Like somebody would try to figure out how to help me do that. Yeah, they left me on the sidewalk with the van still running, standing there.
Wow.
They dipped. They were gone. And I was just talking about like circumstantial comfort, police etiquette on a scene, just common sense stuff. Like we leaving this young lady out here with this van that has Vital Life family counseling on it and sunflowers. Don't forget, this thing got flowers on it. So I'm not a mechanic. I'm a counselor. I don't know what to do with this. And I asked one of the officers. He was like, I think he said, did that man say call somebody? Something stupid. So that this is something that would be like, to Kristen's point, on both sides of the coin, everybody has to be educated because that could have gone. Like I thought about reporting it. Then I said, I'm going to wait. I'm going to calm down off of that for a little while. And then I'm going to get to advocating about crime scene awareness. I don't like how when you watch the news and you see officers standing around on the crime scene talking and laughing. Their cameras rolling, even if the scene has been cleared or whatever. There's nothing funny here.
I feel like all around these days, it just feels like humanity is super low and people only care about themselves and they don't care about others. And it's like, that's like really an issue for me because it's like, where are we headed? Like, why don't y'all care? Nobody cares. They're only concerned with themselves. And I understand like the state of the world, it's like heavy on everybody. But like, what happened to like community and unity? Like, what is going on with the people?
People are so desensitized.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is the president. Yeah. Going back to the very beginning of the conversation, when you talk about empathy, couth, tact, concern, love, support, the golden rule. I teach the golden rule at the Dana Project every day. Like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Mm-hmm.
Period. If you care about yourself, but then I started learning that people I don't care what you do to me because I don't even care about myself.
Right.
Oh, well, here we are. Now we're there.
That's the rule. The rule is measured by you.
Yeah. So do you not feel like you deserve to be treated nice, fairly, loved, considered? And if they hadn't been taught that, that is not of value to me. So therefore, I don't really know to consider you, and I don't care.
But and that's like what you're talking about is like, and I would think an ideal scenario for a police officer. Okay, an adult call, they have a reasonable issue. You get there, you see the issue happening, they resolve the issue. You would think that they could do something to leave the person that called at peace or at ease in some kind of way.
No.
And so so imagine that energy going towards a kid that don't really know how to engage, that got these online understandings of how police officers be. Like, where's the empathy? Where's the compassion? And you would think that that should be something that's easy to do.
Yeah.
But I guess when you're at a difficult job, I ain't minimizing the difficulties of what police officers do. The question becomes, what's the barrier between having that compassion and empathy and an experience like you had where you don't experience it at all?
Yeah.
What's the variable?
Yep. Let's go to the phone lines. One more call before we get out of here. Caller, you're in with the show. What's your question, comment, thoughts, or feelings?
Thank you so much for taking my call.
Indeed.
I'm enjoying, I'm enjoying you all's conversation. My call is about the training of the police officers, and you were talking about really their lack of professionalism as they stood there and didn't help you in any way concerning your van being vandalized.
Mm-hmm.
I think about something about what happened to Griggs in West End. I can't think of his first name right now, but the police officers responded to a call that he was having an episode. He was a Vietnam veteran.
Okay.
And he had a gun, and they couldn't talk him down or anything. And it bothers me to this day about that situation, that they didn't have the training that they needed, so that outcome would have been differently.
Yeah.
They ended up shooting and killing him, and it just should have been different.
Yeah.
So hopefully there will be some professional training that the men and women can receive at Birmingham Police Department.
Thank you so much for that call. Final call of the night. Look, there are so many things that we have discussed tonight. Like every time we get on here, there's so much to talk about. So we talk about as much as we can, and we are so grateful that we have the opportunity to do so amongst these airwaves with all of you. Make sure you put the number in your phone and then keep up with us during the week by following us on all social media platforms. However you want to do that, find us that way. Tomorrow, a mood, music, and motivation Monday, whereas we get the week started easy. I'm telling y'all, I'm very serious about this mindfulness. Right now in this season, be very mindful of your energy, your attention, what you put out, what you take in, because you just don't know. You really just do not know. So what we do know, you're going to get these vibes tomorrow, though. So I'll see you at 12. All of y'all have a good week. I will check in and just kind of dive into Trumpster midweek just to see what's happening, because it's always so much. If you want to be a part of anything that you heard, you can hit me up directly. Watch Woo Work everywhere. Y'all be vital.
If you've been wanting to get your commercial driver's license, here's your opportunity. One Stop CDL Training, LLC, located in LLC 3800 Bessemer Super Highway. One Stop